Talk about like those evolutions that you've experienced of like how you think about that and not going like, all right, we're just going to completely abandon everything that we've done, but I'm interested in trying something different or helping a different audience, or I'm starting to see some new traction in other ways. And so how have you thought about those evolutions?
The pivots that's just like a natural part of the entrepreneurial journey, I think, because it's very rare that you'll meet an entrepreneur that starts a company doing one particular thing that 20 years later is still doing that one particular thing. Yeah. Because the natural brain of the type entrepreneur is that we want to chase the squirrels. We want to look at those shiny objects and even touch them, right? And so I think that's why those evolutions come about for pretty much everybody I know have been through similar evolutions. Truth be told, I still own and operate 2 businesses in the outsourcing space, multi-7-figure businesses. And I'm still asked every single month to do a podcast interview or a webinar or like a private consultation or whatever it is on VAs and building virtual teams. Like I get asked every single month to do at least 1 or 2 like that. The reason why I made the pivot, and this was in late 2014, was because Virtual Freedom, the first book focusing on VA team building, came out in early 2014. And by the time that year was up, I was done, Grant. Like I was done talking about VAs because I went on a massive speaking tour for it. I did 100 podcast episodes or interviews that year and did all this stuff about it to get the book out there, and it worked. It did great. But at the end of the day, if somebody was to ask me, sorry, how much do you pay your VA every month? That dude was going to get clocked in the head. You know what I mean? Like it just one more thing. And yeah, ultimately, and by the way, everybody, I'm not a violent guy. But what I'm getting at here is that I genuinely wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I started to talk more about personal branding and reputation management just naturally. And when we made the pivot into that, and then just a year later opened up the doors of Youpreneur, it became actually really apparent to me that what I was now teaching in that world, I had earned my stripes.